Phil Brecky. Today we're going to go over a little bit about Truck 3, conveniently placed down here at Station 3. So this is Truck 3. Truck 3 was built in 2002, so it's the oldest truck in our fleet of frontline trucks here at Ames Fire. And it's due to be replaced. We're working on replacing it this coming year, in fact. So along with the ladder truck comes many things, and as I'm driving the ladder truck, I think it's one of my biggest responsibilities is to get the crew there in a safe manner. So we have the lights and we have the sirens to warn people that we're coming, but it's still ultimately my responsibility to get everybody there safe, because we can't help with the fire or the emergency if we don't get there in a safe manner. So some of the things with Truck 3 that makes it a little different than other engines on the department is we have a ladder on the top that goes up 105 foot. So we can use that for apartment buildings or some of the bigger buildings, some of ISU buildings, things like that. We can use the ladder truck if need be. Some other things that a lot of people like to see in the truck is just all of our gauges and knobs to control all the stuff that we run here. So up top here, along this top part, has to do with our lights and our sirens. So each of these different buttons corresponds with different lights or siren aspects that we have on the truck. And over here is just some more other lights and siren controllers. Down here on the main dash is just more of the truck controls, the engine, the transmission, the fuel, and stuff like that is on here. And then over here again is just kind of a combination between the two. Some of it has to do with dealing with the truck itself, others have to do with turning on the hydraulics or the pumps of the ladder truck. So we also have, once we're en route, we will all wear these headsets, which with the lights and sirens on and with the loud noises, and we're getting a lot of radio traffic from dispatch, it just makes it a lot easier. We can hear each other talk, and we can also hear the radio traffic from PD, either dispatch or maybe other units on scene. So it just helps us hear a lot better when we have our headsets on. So once we arrive at the fire, this is where the engineer or the driver would come back to operate the rest of the pump while we're on scene. So one of the first things that we would do is get a fire hydrant and make a fire hydrant connection from there to here. So we would end up taking the fire hydrant connection and, of course, take that hose and connect it into here. So then we would turn on the fire hydrant and then we would have plumbing to our fire truck. Now, along with this, we have 400 gallons on board. So we can start firefighting right away if need be. But it's always, if we have a big fire going, we would always want to have a fire hydrant. If we have one available, we want to have that. So one of the other first things that we do is pull this. This would get the water from the tank to the pump. And then we'd have a little recirculating line so our pump doesn't get too hot. We'd have that going. And then from here, all these other knobs and levers have to deal with where I want the water to go. So they're corresponding. This is the speed leg for this cross leg here. So if the guys pull this speed leg here, then this would be the line that I would pull to charge that, and then they would have water to that line. These lines here, we can run foam through as well. We can control the foam through this little computer module here. So along that, there's a lot of different things going on here. This is another command zone that will show me engine temperature, tranny temperature, things like that of the truck itself.
Hi, I'm Brandon Hendrick. I'm a firefighter down here at Station 3. This first compartment we're going to show you is the pump operator's compartment. So today would be Phil's compartment. It consists of extra nozzles, fittings, gated wise, and extra hose to assist Phil in his pump operations. If we need to extend a line, the hydrant he talked about, if it's a short distance from the truck, we have short LDH hose right there to make that connection. In this compartment here on the top shelf, we have our set of rope rescue equipment. We have ropes, belay systems, carabiners, anything we need for rope rescue. This right here is our RIP pack that has an air cylinder in it that we would use to rescue a downed firefighter, or if we needed to, take it in and assist someone coming out. We have what we call our crash bags. that we'll use if we have this truck on a motor vehicle accident that has an assortment of tools in it to assist us with that. And behind there is our ground monitor that we would use as an unmanned hose line on a large defensive fire operation. In this compartment, we have oil dry for those car accidents, triangles to set up a safety zone on those accidents, a PFD life jacket, and assortment of salvage covers. As a truck company, we are often put in charge of salvage to protect things inside a building that's been on fire from water damage. So these are what we would use in that situation. The last compartment on the driver's side is where we have our high-rise hose bundles, our stair chair, and some hand tools. The high-rise hose bundles we would use in obviously a high-rise building, multiple stories, to hook to the standpipe to get water to the elevated areas where the fire's at.
Hi, my name's Eli Ingram. I'm a firefighter here at Station 3. So to start off with this back compartment, one thing that makes us different from the other stations is we have the ladder truck here. The other stations have engines, and that's because of the big ladder we have up top. It's 105 feet. And back here are the controls to get the outriggers out, which will basically help stabilize the truck so we can extend the ladder to perform rescue operations or whatever the case may be. So here are the controls to help get the outriggers out and stabilize on both sides. And then with that, we have a bunch more ladders here in the back, anywhere from attic ladders to help us get into tight spaces, or bigger ladders like our roof ladders that you see with the hooks at the end, or big 35-foot ladders if we have to help get to windows, balconies, and situations like that. Other tools we have are various hooks and claws to help on the roof, and we have pipe poles of various sizes to help tear off ceiling, to help us look for fire extension and stuff like that. Along the case that our driver Phil talked about, we have our LDH back here, so we have our hydrant bag so we can hook up to the hydrant, and this is where we pull the LDH out to help hook up and supply water to the engine.
Hi, my name is Adam Webker. I'm a firefighter down here at Station 3. And in this compartment on the truck, we have assorted hand tools, which we use for forcible entry, for breaching roof, for ventilation operations, or salvage operations with our hooks and various sledgehammer, just various things that we might need on a fire. One thing about the truck company, we're a lot of times assigned to ventilation or forcible entry. So one thing that this truck has that the other engines in our fleet does not is our rotary saw. Our rotary saw would be used to cut metal things such as garage doors, metal flat roofs on our commercial structures, or anything else the side of metal buildings to gain access to fires that we otherwise couldn't access. We also have our chainsaw in this compartment. Fires don't always happen in the daylight, so we need a lot of light on the truck, and we have a portable generator here for light, and then we can attach small electrical equipment to it as well. We have our Sawzall and some other DeWalt drills and other small tools to use on a fire. The truck is really a giant rolling toolbox that each compartment has equipment in it that we might need or have needed at different incidents that we've been on in the past. So hopefully it has everything we need. So moving forward on the truck, in this compartment, because we don't only just respond to fires with this truck, we also respond to EMS calls, medical calls. So this is our EMS compartment where we have our first out medic and our various other, our AED, other tools that we would use on a medical call. And like I stated in that last compartment back there, we have lighting is a critical thing for us at night. So we have our compartment that has a bunch of lights, portable lights that we can move around to light up the scene to make it safe for us. And so we don't miss something that would be important. And moving on to our final compartment on this side, this is we have our PPV pan, which stands for the positive pressure ventilation, as well as our smoke ejector, which we might set in a window to pull the smoke out of a particular room after a fire. And then also our three kinds of fire extinguishers that we carry on this truck. We have our water can, which is just straight water, used on any A fires. We have our typical ABC extinguisher, and then we have our CO2 extinguisher.
Again, my name's Eli. I'm a firefighter here at Station 3. And here in the back compartment, this is where we ride going to a call. We have headsets in the back where we can talk to each other to get a better idea of what's going on and what needs to be done on our end to either help save or stabilize something. A lot of times we do have tools in the back here. We always try to come out prepared when we're leaving whatever engine or truck we are riding at the time. Along with that, we have our air packs back here. So we are always ready to go, packed up if we need to go inside of a working structure fire, whatever the case may be. Along with that, we have some extra lights, some safety vests, and just a couple overall things to kind of help out with whatever the situations we're dealing with.
I'm Josh, I'm the lieutenant on this ladder truck, Truck 3, out of Ames Fire Station 3, and this is my seat. I keep my gear right next to the truck, ready to go. A couple unique things about my seat that are different than the rest of the crew. I have my accountability tag sets right here that have everyone that's working for the day. If we go to a fire, these tags go to the incident commander so that we can keep track of who's working and we know if there's a lost firefighter who it might be. I keep my own Halligan bar, which is a pry bar that I can use while I'm walking around the structure in the initial parts of the fire. I have my own rope bag in case we're on an elevated portion of a tall building that we could hoist some hose or hoist tools or other equipment with us if we need to. Moving into the cab, we've got a few unique parts about where I sit, again, that help me command a fire if we're there before our incident commander, or to help keep track of what things may be inside our buildings. You'll see with our computer in there, we have a lot of knowledge before the fire happens as to what specific parts of the building may be involved or other unique things that we need to be aware of. So like I said, we have a computer in the officer's seat, and we can use that to access data on many of the different commercial buildings in our area. Things like where the hydrants may be and where the alarm panels may be. I have a hydrant book that is specific for our district. Got every fire hydrant in Station 3's response area platted out so that I can see where a hydrant is before we arrive on scene, as well as some of the different sized water mains so that we know if we might need more than one hydrant. Up front with me, I carry a thermal imager. One of my first actions on scene, if we're the first unit at a house fire, would be to do a lap around the entire building, trying to locate the source of the fire, and a thermal imager can help me do that if there isn't fire showing from the outside that's readily apparent. Thanks for joining us on this virtual tour of Ames Fire Truck 3, located at Fire Station 3. Station 3 also has its own rescue boat. It doesn't have a motor though. You need to row it yourself.